Good morning. Today is another episode and the final episode of the Focus Daily Show. Season 1 is coming to an ending. Look for me soon in Season 2 over there on the tube. But today, a simple show. We just have to read a letter from Walter Plecker stating his overall goals so that we are able to visualize how during the early 1900s they brought all these things into existence. We're going to get straight into it. Letter from Walter Plecker. Commonwealth of Virginia, Department of Health, Bureau of Vital Statistics, Richmond, December 1943. To local registrars, clerks, legislators, and others responsible for and interested in the prevention of racial intermixing, in January 1943, annual letter to the local registrars and clerks of courts with list of mixed surnames, we called attention to the greatly increased efforts and arrogant demands now being made for classification as whites, or at least for recognition as Indians, as a preliminary step to admission into the white race by marriage of groups of the descendants of the free Negroes. The free Negroes. Ultimately, we're all free men, us Afro-Americans. But as you can see, in order to make this legislation legal, he had to use correct terminology. And that's basically him himself stating that we've always been free. So designated before 1865 to distinguish them from the slaves or the Slavs or the foreigners. According to Mendel's law of heredity, 1 out of 4 of a family of mixed breeds through the introduction of illegitimate white blood is now so near white in appearance as to lead him to proclaim himself as such and to demand admission into white schools, forbidden by state constitution. The other 3 find it more difficult to make the grade. As a climax of their ambition, colored people of this type are applying for licenses to marry whites, and for white licenses when intermarrying against themselves. These they frequently secure with ease when they apply in a county or city, not the home of the woman, and are met by a clerk or deputy who justifies himself in accepting a casual affidavit as the truth and in issuing a license to any applicant regardless of the requirement of section 509.9a, paragraph 4 of the code. This section places the proof upon the applicant, not the clerk. We have learned that affidavits cannot always be accepted as truth. This loose practice, to state it mildly, of a few clerks is now the greatest obstacle in the way of the proper registration by race required by the state registrar of vital statistics in that section. Local registrars who are supposed to know the people of their registration areas, of course, have no excuse for not catching false registrations of birth and death. In many cases, Negroids have white marriage certificates, while the Bureau demands correct registration as to race when their children's birth are reported. Armed with clerks' marriage certificates, they leave home and easily pass as white. When a birth certificate with the pedigree of the black is not of the back on the back, not required. They are even threatening legal action against the state registrar, but have difficulty in securing a lawyer if he first applies to the Bureau of Vital Statistics for the facts. The Virginia Bureau of Vital Statistics, through the exceptional, painstaking, and laborious work of the high-trained genealogists whom it is fortunate in having, has made a study by groups and families of the principal borderlines, aspirants for racial change. The chief source of information are the early birth and death records made by tax assessors from 1853 to 1896. Marriage records from 1853 to date. United States Census reports for 1830, 1850, and 1870, especially a printed list of free Negroes by counties from the 1830 census. County taxpayers list by race, now in the state library, which have been studied back in 1808, and now not of least value, their proclamation of race made by the applicants for registration as voters, made soon after the war between the states, to United States military authorities, now preserved in the state library. The progenitors of the present would-be whites then marched up voluntarily and registered for the first time in the life of their race in Virginia as Negro voters, not Indians, not white. E. Public records in the office of the Bureau of Vital Statistics and in the state library indicate that there does not exist today a descendant of Virginia ancestry claiming to be Indian who is unmixed with Negro blood. Since our more complete investigation of all these records and the statement mostly signed of numerous trustworthy old citizens, many now dead, all preserve our racial integrity files. No one has attempted by early recorded evidence to disprove this finding. If such evidence exists, our research workers would have found it. One weak point, which is giving us endless trouble, is the fact that many birth certificates since 1912 have, without realization of the future danger, been accepted as false registrations as Indians. Not a few, when we were off our guard, have slipped by as white. The General Assembly should empower us to state the recorded pedigree on the backs of such certificates and transcripts to protect those desiring the truth in the future. Very truly, Walter A. Plecker, M.D., State Register of Vital Statistics. This included a list of names. We'll check out the list of names. Now, as far as me breaking that down, I'm going to leave that to the audience. Scroll back to the beginning of the series, watch the videos, and come back, and it will all be revealed. What they say, surnames by counties and cities of mixed Negro, Virginia families striving to pass as Indian or white. And here is a list of names, basically names that were stolen and already claimed by the future recipients of those identities. So they wanted to ensure that those names were clean for their notorious uses. Scroll back. But we're going to roll through a couple of these names and then we're going to get out of here. But as usual, in each and every show, I have to always give praise due to the Most High, the Lord of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, in the name of Jesus Christ. It is through him that I am being sent with this truth as a chance of redemption for the world, for everyone to see what really occurred, and hopefully to bring people back home. But until next time, focus daily. But as I go out, we're going to go through a few of these names. Moon, Powell, Kid, all Afro-American original names. Adcock, Beverly, Hicks, Heartless, Johns, Lawless, Knuckles, Painter, Ramses, Red Cross, Roberts, Southerners, Terry, Willis, McVeigh. That sounds familiar. Langston, Stewart, Wynn. All of this information is available at the encyclopediavirginia.org. See if you can find your name. C. Washington. Well, that's it. Season 1. Focus Daily, y'all. We out.